Ladies and gamers, my name is BelleNOiR and you are watching Cast My Game Episode 2, where I, a wannabe caster, probably should not have called myself that, but oh well. A lot of jokes will be made today on my address. Gotta roll with it. Where I, a wannabe caster, cast replays you sent me. And I have gotten a lot of submissions. Holy crap, a lot of replays do I have. I already have like 40 replays. I have not had time to go through half of them yet. So, those I have seen, I tried to pick the best ones. And since we had a whole lot of protas the previous episode, which, the pilot episode, the very first one, which aired yesterday. For today, I decided to pick a little bit more of the Zerg variety, as to cater to all races and all players. No one will ever say BelleNOiRtv is being imbalanced. Ever. Again. Alright. So, with that introduction, I hope, by the way, I hope you have nothing against my choice of music. On the start. So let me welcome everybody here on the stream. I hope you will enjoy today's cast. Today we do have a ZVZ, we have a ZVT, we have a TVT, and we have a TVP to cast. So let us jump into the first game. The first game is going to be a ZVT on God, what's the name of this map? Neoplanet S, and it was submitted by an acquaintance of mine, a very good admin, by the way, from Serbia, I do believe. His handle is Gigosep, and as far as I know, he's a part of clan UCAP. But so far he doesn't have money to afford Heart of the Swarm. He's a very good player, by the way. He's borderline GM. This game we're going to be seeing is actually I think actually he just recently did make GM. I'm not sure. He's playing on his friend's account. His friend was so kind to lend him his account because Gigosep cannot afford his own as of yet. Which brings a question. I know StarCraft 2 community is very helping most of the time, so if you would like to help this guy obtain his Heart of the Swarm account, you can chip in if you want to. If you want to pay for his Heart of the Swarm, because he's really a very good player and a nice person. If you don't want to, that is okay. But if you want, you can send a payment to my PayPal account with the description Gigosep HOTS, Gigosep HOTS, and I will send him the money so that he can buy Heart of the Swarm. I have not consulted this with him, by the way, so I don't even know if he agrees. But I'm just putting it out there. It was just a spur of the moment idea. Anyways, let us jump into the game and see what happens here. I have seen the games I'm going to be casting today only briefly, so I don't actually know everything that is going to happen in those games because I just blasted through them on times 8. So let us start. Now, as I need to switch the overlay. There we go. Alright, so Neoplanet S. In the top right we do have the red Zerg player Gigosep, who is using his friend's account, Massos. That's why the clan tag is, GigoSP. And in the bottom left, we do have the blue Terran NV Rossi. Actually, now that I see the banter that's going on in this game, I realize that Gigosep is top masters and Rossi is the grandmaster level player here. Alright, so we do have the depot going down, and well, until about the 3 to 4 minute mark, nothing really out of the ordinary is going to be happening here. Jigosep for now just sending his overlord forward to scout. Of course, for the Terran side of things, you always want to be looking at the gas timing. Um, you know, it's one thing if the Terran does take a gas or decides not to take one. That's one thing you have to take into consideration. And another thing is, when does he take that gas? Because if it's a normal gas timing at around 14:15, then he's you know, he's probably going to make 1 or 2 Marines, not necessarily going into Reapers. But if he takes a 12 gas, that's definitely going to be Reapers. And well, by the looks of it, this was a 12 gas, so I really suspect that Rossi will be getting that Reaper straight up when his Rax finishes. At least I think it was a 12 gas. Let me actually check. Oh no, it wasn't. The gas counts are not saying so. Well, a little bit of a late drone scout. Did not get inside the base, which, you know, is unfortunate. And what you can do when a situation like this presents itself to you, you can always try to nibble at this just be under construction supply depot, take some of the HP down. It's mildly annoying for the Terran if you do that. But we are going to have the Reaper on the way regardless, and by the build time that Jigosep witnessed on those racks, without any Marines popping out, he has to assume that a Reaper will be visiting his premises very shortly, getting his gas, saturating it, while his pool is finishing up building. Another drone being sent out. This is very, very interesting. I wonder what that drone is for. I think the first one was killed by the SCV, yes. Or no. The Reaper killed it. Must have. Alright. The Reaper killed the first drone, so maybe a rescout. Or maybe not. Jigosep being a little bit indecisive here as the Reaper enters his base. Let's see how much damage that Reaper can take. He, of course, will be trying to shoot away at the drones. Trying to get at maybe the one drone, but needs to micro away against those Zerglings. We have 5 Zerglings still remaining. Reaper getting another kill, killing that Zergling, but really should be getting out of there because those Zerglings, well, they would catch him sooner or later and nibble him to death. But in the end, the Queen takes the kill. All right, so continuing on, we have speed going down. Jigosep pulled his drones off gas as soon as he has gotten. He's gotten those 100 gas which he needs, and he's going to Rossi is going to be going with Hellions, of course, following this up, trying to soft contain his opponent, which is really easy to do on maps such as Neoplanet S, due to the fact that your third is a little ways off, and he'll be getting a command center behind this and another factory, so most probably going to be mech play. We'll have to see if it's just sort of like for a very heavy Hellion or Hellbat timing in the mid-game, maybe Hellions with Blue Flame, or if he's just going to be going all-out mech. In the meantime, Jigosep is just droning up like crazy, getting creep tumors going, getting that creep spread, preparing to take his third base. I wonder if he'll be taking this one or this one. Most probably will end up taking this one at the 12 o'clock because that's the easier one to take. Now we have 4 Hellions out on the map, which is, you know, the number you want to have when you actually move out. And looks like since we have both factories producing Hellions now, it should be Blue Flame. And there we go. It starts its research. Jigosep very wisely, he's getting the wall up, he's getting his Roach Warren and his double evolution chambers. A natural transition out of this would be Roach Hydra putting his drones on to the extractor yet again and taking another one. And well, doing a pretty good job on the injects. The Hellions are making their way over. Just trying to skirt around the edges, trying to check for a third base and see that there's nothing here, so we'll hightail it back, maybe check the other location. Probably did no, it has not checked that yet. These queens have to be moderately careful here against those Hellions, because, you know, when microed correctly, you can kill queens of creep with Hellions, just because they are so fast, and you can save a lot of hit points, a lot of hits on those Hellions. Jigosep knows that the expansion is up, of course, and but he doesn't know about the rest of the factories. He does have an Overlord in position, though, here to re-scout, but those Hellions roaming out on the map, he will need to produce roaches to stay safe versus them. This base has 2 entrances, one here and one here, and this choke can work for and against these Hellions. Probably will be a good defensive spot to take for Jigosep, who is getting his lair just now, getting his spore crawlers just to be safe versus any kind of drops. But oh my goodness, this is quite a large number of Hellions, and Blue Flame is finished. And yeah, like I said, looks like by the infantry upgrades that Rossi will be following this up with pure infantry play. He's already getting stimp back, he's getting +1/+1 for his infantry, so those 2 factories, they were just for those Hellions, and now he's going to be maybe getting tanks. Oh, okay. For a moment there I thought I was wrong. But so far these Hellions, they have done literally nothing for Rossi. Despite having that many of them, if we look at the creep spread, well, maybe a couple of tumors, by the looks of it, have been denied here, but we still have Queen to take care of that. This Queen is still spreading creep to the south side of the map. No drones have been killed with that as well, so, you know, those Hellions not really paying off, and he's made quite a lot of them. I'm going to be having a starport finishing up in almost perfect sync with all the other upgrades. And those Hellions, you know, they're trying to do some magic here, but this token number of roaches is going to scare them away. Let's look at how many roaches we do have under the map. 11 roaches, and they're just posturing defensively, warding against those Hellions. Nice position here on the high ground, by the way, so that he can get the first couple of shots. And yeah, it looks like Rossi does not really want to take an engagement versus just 3 roaches. Would you believe that? I have to say that it's a really nice touch, repairing these Hellions. And here we have some defensive Widow Mines going about their business, burrowing. And we have a Hydrodon just about to finish up. We have +2/+2 already on the way. Wow, Jigosep, he's really sprinting ahead in those upgrades. And, you know, considering he's on Roach Hydra and he was allowed to drone out unimpeded the whole game, as we see the perfectly defensible position by Jigosep's Roaches here, I think he's going for some sort of a timing here. Even, you know, like not getting muscular augments straight up, just getting grooved spines so that he can have that range advantage. But still not producing any units, just stockpiling quite a lot of minerals and decent amount of gas. Let's see what we have on the turn side of things. Well, he's getting the +2/+2 for himself. He's getting a medevacs and non-stop producing infantry and Widow Mines. Holy crap, Widow Mines! That is a lot of them. That's a freak ton of Widow Mines. And now Jigosep goes into unit production and starts pumping out Hydras like there is no tomorrow. Of course, Hydra's the main DPSer in this army, shielded by the Roaches. Even has a couple of Overseers with him, just in case of those Widow Mines precisely. Has not still scouted his opponent's base. That is really weird. He must be relying just on his timing. There we have the muscular augments going down, and +2/+2 is getting dangerously close to being finished. And muscular augments just take 100 seconds to research, so that's approximately the time it would take Jigosep to safely cross the map. I am emphasizing safely cross the map, because if you bum rush your opponent, of course you can get there sooner. But you don't really want to be doing that. You don't want to run into a bunch of Widow Mines or siege tanks or whatever and lose your whole army. So here we go. The Widow Mines are burrowed, but taking shots at Roaches first, and that will render them utterly useless. Marines are stimming and moving forward, but there's just too many Hydras here. and not enough of the Widow Mines. I mean, if those Widow Mines would detonate right now onto those Hydras, which they of course can. Oh my god, the Hydras are very near those Widow Mines, but is it going to be enough? No, they're moving out of their range. No detonation will be going off, and if we look at the army supply, it's 72, 73, but Rossi in dire straits here, forced to pull off SCVs, trying to flank from the right side. But Hydras, man, they're so good with +2/+2 upgrades. Oh no! Widow Mines unburrowing in the worst possible time! But that was a very good hit. A lot of Hydras went down. Let's see how many workers were killed. 24 SCVs went down? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Let us see. 50 SCVs versus 63 drones. You know, Rossi not in the worst possible spot, but I mean, Gigosep just making such a cost-efficient use of his army, camping the production right now, which means, oh man, there we have the GG. I mean, once you get to the barracks, that means you are killing every single unit that pops out, which of course means that the Terran cannot mass a big enough army to defend this. And as we can see, Gigosep was producing more Hydras on the back of this and just streaming them across the map. Maybe was thinking of hitting the third, so yeah, Gigosep taking the game. Hello there, Sheepster. Does anyone else have lags? I'll check my OBS. Wait a minute. No, 0 dropped frames. And I am streaming through Amsterdam, and that's the most stable server so far, so I don't know. I might consider lowering the bitrate a little bit for the next broadcast. But yes, Matsor, you are absolutely correct. You need tanks versus Hydras. And then, you know, you can take an even fight, and then the Zerg will need basically... Once you start massing up tanks versus this, it's well, basically the Zerg needs to take it to the late game, needs to get at least Vipers out, and you know, if he wants to continue with the Roach Hydra composition, you just need Vipers versus this, and then later on try to transition into Ultralisks, which is not entirely efficient because the whole time you've been getting upgrades for ranged units, not melee units. But if you can drag the game long enough, then yeah, you might be able to pull that off. Matsur giving professional Terran advice. Listen to this, guys, because I mean, listen to him, guys, because he's a pretty good player. Okie dokie, let's go into a TVP. It is going to be Drusav versus Xodus on Whirlwind. Both of these guys, of course, master level players. Alright, here we have on Whirlwind, spawning in the top right, the red Terran Drusav, who submitted this replay to us. And his opponent is going to be spawning cross-map, the blue Protoss Xodus from, I don't know which clan, but the clan tag is KLG. I really hope the in-game audio is not too loud for you guys, because I can hear the music just fine. Alright, so nothing out of the ordinary so far. Pylon going down. This is a very good location for your first pylon, by the way. And I will explain why in a second once I show you that Drusav is actually getting a supply depot. Nah, troll. Alright, why is this a good location for a pylon? Because you can put a building here, which together with the assimilator would prevent any Hellions running past this point. You can optionally also wall off here. And that way you have one side of your mineral line completely, like the Hellions would have to go around this way. And since you are always defending versus drops, later on in the game, in the mid game, with a couple of Stalkers here, until you can afford to get enough cannons here, It basically means that you always should have units nearby. Moreover, you can use the photon overcharge on the Nexus, use it as a cannon, and you know, getting buildings here and here when you suspect your opponent is going for something like a Hellion run-by or a factory opening buys you a lot of time for those shots to fire at those Hellions. So Drusav opening up with a barracks into a gas. Very early gas, by the way. Or slightly earlier than normal. And this is why he's going to be getting a Reaper. But the probe already has made it inside the base, sees the gas. Will he click on it? No. Soda's not clicking on the gas. He's just going to be looking if the second gas will be taken as well. And now he's trapped inside the base, so he cannot get out. And that Reaper actually should take care of that probe. You don't. Yes, there goes the rally. You don't really want to have a probe inside your base for any number of seconds longer than is absolutely necessary. Xoda's not taking a second gas though. I just have to say that straight up. So most probably he is thinking of one gate expanding. I'm just in. Okay, maybe he's not thinking of one gate expanding, as I have a slight lag, which I don't know why that is. Oh, thanks, Sheepster. Thank you for the greeting from Team Independent. Appreciate it. I got some of your replays today. I don't know if it was you, but one guy from Team Independent sent them to me. But like I said, I've been really busy today, so I could not have taken a look. Alright, so what is Drusav going for? He is building a command center, getting 2 additional racks and a gas. So far pretty standard. He has not scouted the whole game, by the way. He opts to use the Reaper for scouting. The Reaper, of course, is going to run into the Stalker here. And Xodus, well, he is getting his Nexus, just as I said. But I'm really puzzled by this 2-gate opening. I mean, you don't really have enough income unless you decide to cut probes to support 2 gateway productions, especially if you want to get that mothership core. That is 100 gas, and you need 50 for the gateway production, and each Stalker is 50 gas as well. And you know, I'm a little bit puzzled about the effectiveness of that opening. I think it was just a reactionary move there. This Reaper, is it going to be able to achieve anything? Probably not. The mothership core is on its tail as well, but the Reapers are pretty fast, not fast enough though. So, you know, you see that second gate wasn't really, as he cancels the Stalker, wasn't really all that much necessary. He could have gotten 2 Stalkers regardless out. This is a very big map, and he did scout that his opponent is cross map, so he should have known that it is going to take some time for the Reaper to reach him. Meanwhile, we do have Stimpack going down for the turn and a factory. Like I said, very standard build, very standard opening, but not so much for Xodus here. He's getting 2 additional gateways and a Stargate, so he's going to be on 4-gate Stargate on 2 gas of 2 bases. Let's see the harvester counts: 28 SCVs to 30 probes. Okay, so he wasn't skipping any probes. That's good. Drusav wanting to be safe, building missile turrets just to ward against DTs. By the way, the timing of which was just impeccable at around 7 minutes, maybe even before that, because I saw the engineering bay going down really quickly, even before the factory. Now, all I'm looking for here is, wow, even getting 2 additional ones. Did he scan? No. So probably just a safe play. You know, Oracle shenanigans are quite common these days on the ladder. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if he encountered that quite a lot in the past and just wants to be safe versus mid-game Oracle harassment with, you know, like 2-3 Oracles, something like that. And yeah. A second Oracle being built, the first one already on the way to harass. Let us see if he's actually using any scans. No, he's not. But he's going to be totally safe versus this. 1 turret here, And another one here. Well, okay, his natural mineral line may be compromised, but his main should be decently safe. Maybe from this side the Oracle could get a bunch of kills. And behind this, we have Xodas getting a robo facility, just now taking his 4th gas here in the natural. And, you know, he's getting a decent number of zealots, some stalkers, but only 1 sentry. I don't know, I don't like this. I really don't like this choice, because from the looks of it, Drusav really wants to be going for a 10 to 11 minute push with 2 to 4 medevacs, and it looks like he'll be moving out right now as the Oracle flies in. 0 kills so far. There it gets 1 kill, 2 kills. I'm not even going to bother counting. Oh my! And the Oracle is shut down from the skies. The second Oracle, though, is on the way towards the natural base, and if Drusav thinks this was the end of it and he's going to move out, that may catch him off guard. 46 probes to 41 SCVs, so the game is still very, very even, and looks like, yeah, Drusav will be moving out, and this is why I don't like only having 1 sentry with this. I mean, you need 3 perfectly placed force fields to force field this off. And having more sentries also means you will have more guardian shields for your zealots. That is a very good synergy. And but Xodas has nothing of the sort, so his defense is going to be pretty darn difficult. It is true he has quite a lot of zealots, but +1/+1 has not finished yet, and Drusav, he is pushing in. He may get a very many probe kills. Nice force fields, but a little bit too late, and now the sentry is all out of energy. The next push Drusav is going to make up the ramp once his units heal up a little bit is going to be so deadly. The photon overcharge is activated, but keep in mind it is only as strong as 1 cannon. Nice time warp going down to allow those zealots to catch up, but really not enough force fields. Imagine those zealots under Guardian Shield and that army cut off from retreat. That Gateway army would have made a number on these units, but as it is, well, those units are still alive. That's all I'm going to say. They have not achieved all that much. Well, okay, I take that back. They killed... Well, no, actually it was Xodas. Did he? It must have been the Oracle that I missed during all of this action. Yeah, it must have been the Oracle, so Xodas killed 12 SCVs. That is really good of him. But, yeah, I think that engagement for Drusav could have gone a little bit better. And this is a very nice reaction time by Xodas as well, because he did notice the Widow Mine. And I have to say, this is a really funny and smart play. Landing the factory to, you know, provide obstructions for Zealots would have been even better if the factory was, like, right here. And in the meantime, he produced a Widow Mine and put it near the mineral line. That's a lot of mining time lost. So Xodas is getting back onto there. And, well, 1-1 is finished. +2 on the way for the turn player. Let's see if he's taking a third base. Honestly, he should be. And, yeah, we do have the third command center. And instead of going Templar, we do see Xodas going for Colossi. And since he was not actually spending his money all that well, look how many gates he's putting down. That's a really an outrageous number of gates. Really way more than you would ever need. 12 gates, 14 gates, holy crap. And no third base taken yet. We also have Twilight Council just now being constructed. Should have been constructed a little bit sooner, just to continue that +2/+2 upgrades. But you know, sometimes it's safer not to build it straight up and use that gas for sentries or for something else. In Xodas' case, those something else were the Oracles. And oh my goodness, Drusav already getting +3 infantry attacks. He's just sprinting ahead in upgrades so fast, sniping off this not even yet finished building Nexus. No cancel there. That was very, very quick. If we look at the resources lost tab, it is quite even, but I think Drusev is in a little bit of a better position. He does have the starport. And he does have enough medevacs. None of those were killed. He still has 7 medevacs with this army, which is quite a substantial amount. So he can just go into pure Viking production. And even getting a second starport to have just enough Vikings when this push ends up coming, if it actually is. Really, when you go with a double forge, it is sometimes better. I'm not saying always, but sometimes it is generally better to first get the Colossi tech and then get the double forge. And prioritize getting your first 2 Colossi out over getting those upgrades, meaning you have to queue up your first Colossi and Thermal Lance upgrade before you queue up 1-1 in the forges. Let's look at the army sizes. 98 for Drusev versus 83 for Xodus. And how many sentries do we have? Okay, this is a decent sentry number. This is what I was looking for. That's good. Storm is being started in the Templar archives as well. And a lot of zealots are being morphed in. This is a very defensible position for Xodus, and Drusev saw that the whole army is encamped there and knows that attacking up that ramp would have been something almost equal to a suicide. Nice work with the Observer, by the way. I have to compliment Xodus on that as well. He is keeping tabs on the army movements of his opponent. Oh, a premature stim there, and nice splitting, I have to say. Time warp going down on some of the units. The force fields are decent, not the best though, and the Vikings are starting to do a number on the Colossi. Nice surround coming out of Drusev here, and without any further force fields, 1 Colossi going down. This army is getting increasingly weaker and weaker and weaker. The Zealots are stuck all the way in the back and not at all contributing to this fight, but it looks like Drusev, he's lost more units than he cared to lose, and he has to pull back, but he's got reinforcements on the way. He still has quite a large number of medevacs. I really like that while he's kiting back, he does not forget to activate the Ignite Afterburners ability on the medevacs so that they don't get killed by the pursuing stalkers. That's something a lot of Terrans oftentimes neglect to do, but trust me, in the later stages of the game, when the ratio between Vikings, Ghosts, High Templars and Colossi is all that much more important, and the Protoss can have 2 to 3 to 4 robotic facilities churning out Colossi and tech switching at will, you are going to be grateful that you don't have to remake those medevacs. And of course it allows you to be aggressive via drops as well. So really nice nice knowledge and usage of his mechanics right there. And Drusev still mildly ahead. Economy-wise, he is definitely ahead just because of having those 3 orbital commands and those 3 mules. And, you know, a little bit of a better saturation would be needed on this side of the map in Camp Protoss. Oh, Mothership Core going down. A nice snipe there for Drusev. And too bad he does not have any ghosts yet. 1 EMP on that bunched army would do wonders. And I don't think... No, there is no Observer here. Did he actually see the drop coming in with the Observer there? I don't think he has. But it is only 1 medevac. Now let's see how much damage this will be able to do. Is he going to react to this? He's not maxed out, so he can warp in units here in the main. He is not supply blocked either, and here we have an engagement between the 2nd and the 3rd. Nice feedbacks there with the Templars. Storm's going down on the infantry. Beautifully placed Storm, and I think that Drusev should defend this, but the EMPs nullify all subsequent storms. There is still a High Templar with enough energy to storm. I don't know why it's not doing that. Now the storm is going down. Drusev taking a very good engagement, actually wiping the whole army out, and the drop in the main base is still being alive, not being taken care of. I think the ability not to multitask fast enough on Xodus' side really got to him here, and he was just dismantled by Drusev. I have to say that I have not seen any reason in the replay to not warp in units here unless he was on cooldown, which is possible, but if that is the case, you don't want to be having your army bunched up here while your opponent has a huge giant ass concave on the other side. That is just not a good use of your units, and well, bad army positioning, I guess, and an inability to react to a drop in his main base. And it's game. It's all it takes, despite him BMing about Stim to win. Stim is a powerful ability, that is true, but also the Protoss army is really powerful. It deals a lot of damage, and it can take a lot of punishment. Speaking of the Zealots right now. Alright guys, 2 games behind us, 2 more games to go. Once again, you are watching Cast My Game, where me, the wannabe caster, casts your replays. If you're watching for the first time, here is a little bit of an info. You send me your replays, which have to contain master level players both, at least master level players, and have to be around 20 minutes long. Then I will pick 4 games from all the replays you guys have submitted, and I will cast them almost every single day of the working week. 100% on Mondays and Tuesdays. Wednesdays are off limits because I have a cast somewhere else. Thursdays are highly probable, and Fridays are 100%. So we will have 4 replays, most probably 4 days a week. Different replays each time. And I will try to pick different players as well, because, like I said, I have received 40 replays and have not had the chance to go over all of them yet. So if you do have a game, you can send it to me. You see the email address just below my camera window. It is BelleNOiR@cisnam.cz. Please include a short description saying briefly what happened in the games. Please do tell me which of the 2 players is you. That's also a very helpful piece of information. And of course, if you are a streamer, or if you belong to a clan, or if you have a website of any sort, please do include that in the email, and I will do a proper shout-outing during the live cast if I end up casting your games. And my voice is really hurting. I think you can kind of tell. I'm not entirely sure if you can, but it is hurting a little bit, so excuse me for a moment here. I have to drink a lot of liquids. And oddly enough, the chat has been quiet for a long time. I am feeling sad. Is the stream actually still up? It looks like it is. Say something, guys. I'm feeling lonely. Alright. So, I'll take a sip of water. Feels good. You know what's the worst combination of jobs ever? Being a teacher and at the same time being a caster. Because you know what that means? You don't shut up the whole day. And at the end of the day, you just don't want to be talking. Your voice is completely dead. Like last spring's snow, as we say in my country. Okay. Let's get to the next game. The next game is going to be a ZVZ. This one is going to be My Insanity Penguin versus NF Team Stunter. I actually know of NF Team. It's a Hungarian team. It's a Hungarian team. once I was in a clan and we had some sort of a partnership with them. So that's why I know of them. Don't know too much about my insanity, but excuse me. But if you would care to find out more about this team, they of course have a web page, which Penguin has forgotten to send me. But he did send his all other contacts, so I will be getting into those after the cast. And alright, already we do see Penguin, the red Zerg spawning in the top, going with a temple opening in this ZVZ. Of course, this is Whirlwind, quite a large map, and we see Penguin scouting in the wrong possible location for a temple. He's getting a gas straight after this. So, you know, this is an opening basically designed to kill your enemy's natural expansion if you happen to be going for a 15 hatch or a pool and then a hatch. Of course, it is much easier to do if you go for a hatch first. Either cancel the hatch or force out a lot of Zerglings. So we have the Blue Zerg NF team's Stunter spawning in the top right, and he's opening up with a normal timed pool, and he's going to be taking a expansion right now. But 6 lings are already on the way, and what is this? We have a Baneling Nest. Guys, we have a Baneling Nest. Okay, Penguin is going to be hyper aggressive straight from the get-go. He probably knows his opponent is not down here unless he 10-pulled himself, because there is no expansion, which at this time there should be. So Penguin is heading to the next nearest location. If he does not find his opponent here in the top right, he's going to be heading to the bottom right, but he does find him, luckily, and he is going to start attacking the hatch immediately. Let's look what is going to happen in Camp Stunter. Stunter has 4 lings out on the field. He's forced to pull drones. He really does not want to lose this hatch. And Baneling Nest is finished, and we already have 4 Banelings morphing in. Does Stunter know about this? I don't think he pursued those lings. No, he has not. Now he's going to do so, and he sees the Banelings and immediately turns around, and rightly so, because they've just finished morphing. And if Penguin has a very good micro here, he will do a lot of damage with this. Now, basically, Stunter cannot move down the ramp because there are Banelings guarding it. One Baneling goes off a very good trade for Penguin. And, you know, as long as those Banelings are alive guarding this ramp, he's just going to be able to kill that hatch with impunity. They are making their way towards the mineral line. 2 Banelings still alive. They can get those drones if they want to. Boom! Both of those survive, and both of those go off. Oh wow, 5 drones being killed, and no defenses for Stunter means that the next rally of links is most probably going to do huge amounts of damage. In all honesty, he's just going to kill the hatch right now. He doesn't care, he's going to kill the hatch. And look at this, no gas mined by Stunter. He cannot even begin researching his link speed. Actually, do we have link speed down for Penguin? No, not yet, but the hatch does end up dying. Let's see what the drone counts are. 11 versus 8. Oh my god, Penguin is such a lead here. And if we look at the army supply, he's actually down in army supply, but he does have Banelings. Another nice detonation there. Still has 3 Banelings, so that's more than enough. And, you know, Stunter is trying to target individual Banelings at a time, but that's not going to happen. Very nice ring around the rosy micro here by Penguin, ensuring that his Banelings survive. We have a Spinecrawler here, and that is going to deter those Banelings from approaching moderately. Oh my god, did you just see that flying Zergling? Okay, the Banelings are trying to go in, but the Spinecrawler kills them straight up, but the Queens ends up falling. And that's another decent win for Penguin, since he does not have his own queen yet. And he's still continuing this aggression. Right now, as he's getting speed, he's going back into drone production. And let's see if they both end up plopping down their expansion hatches at the same time. Stunter moving across the map, but he's going to be in a world of hurt in a moment here because he's moving out on the map without speed, and his opponent's speed is about to finish in 20 seconds time. Now, if Stunter encounters Penguin's Lings somewhere out on the map, he's going to surround it so fast that he won't know basically what hit him. Two defensive banelings being built by Penguin, very nice decision here. He can defend most things with this. Oh, and just in time as well. Very good hit on that baneling, and Stunter has to be really careful now. And oh, magnificent hit, and that's it. Defended. I can expand. Let me just do that. Very nice play coming out of Penguin so far. Speed going down just now for Stunter. And he's really behind on the gas count. I mean, in his place, I wouldn't even bother with the banelingness, to be honest. But the hatch is still not yet finished. Let's look at the timing of those hatches. Oh yeah, Stunter is a little bit ahead on that hatch, and here comes another aggressive wave from Penguin. He's just going to scout in, see what's there, sees that the hatch is not finished. Has alerted himself to Stunter by attacking that hatch though, so he got a pink on the minimap even if he was not looking at the hatch at the time. So he knows another attack wave is incoming. Using the queens to sort of block the ramp, that's a very nice move all the time. No! No, Penguin, what are you doing detonating those banelings on a building? Are you crazy? The hatch does finish though, and it's really low on hit points. It is going to go down yet again. I'm really surprised that Stunter actually let that finish and not have cancelled it, because really there was no point letting that hatchery finish up. So as the game is, you know, slowing down, at least for the time being, we have banelings, or baneling nest rather, for Stunter, but no banelings out on the field. And you know, Penguin, I really like his gas management here. Oh my, whew, I almost had a heart attack. If Stunter would have lost this Zerg group, basically he could say GG straight up, and it wouldn't be far from the truth. Now, as I was saying, I really like Penguin's gas management here, because he's not over-making banelings, he's just making the right amount, 2, 4 at a time, depending on what he wants to be doing with those, defending, attacking, blowing them up on buildings, blowing them up on queens, just getting the right amount of banelings all the damn time. And, oh, 2 banelings for 1, that is definitely not a good trade for Penguin. Oh, has to be careful. Has to be really careful here. 1 baneling can ruin the day for him right now. And you know, Stunter, he's trying to get back and not killing any drones though. Still those 6 drones from the start of the game that Penguin ended up killing. So we may actually see the game equalizing here in a moment. Well, we do have a lair going down. I'm going to keep a close eye on the timing of the lair of his opponent, because if he will be too far behind, then unless Penguin makes a huge mistake, he should win this game. Assuming he's going to be going Muta, which he really should, because if he doesn't go Muta and his opponent does, then it is going to be really, really hard for him to win the game. 1 detonation there, getting some drones, but then the rest of the kills would be Zerglings. Only 1 drone, actually. Only 1 drone died. He will get the queen, though, so that's a decent win, and now the drones will have to be pulled back into the main base. The lair is on the way, though, and just now starting? I almost thought that I missed him building his lair, but he just now started it. Nice cancel there by Stunter. So back to the drone counts, 23 versus 34. Stunter has a very, very good economy, and this is his one edge in the game, quite honestly, because Spire is all on the way already. And all Penguin has to do basically right now is drone up so that he is fully saturated, and then just cut everything, build a couple of overlords, and start mass producing mutas. and he should be in a pretty good spot. You know, basically from the start of the game, since he did start mining gas sooner, he did not overmake banelings. He managed his gas very efficiently. That means he's got a decent stockpile. And when I say decent, I say quite a lot. So he's going to have probably 8 Mutalisks out by the time the Spire finishes. We see Stunter getting his Spire as well, but he is in a worse position, way worse position than Penguin is. Trying to go for Ling run-bys, but not really going to work. Mainly because Penguin is just on top of things. He's got Overlords floating everywhere, man. Again, very nice unit control, leaving only 2 Zerglings on those Banelings, killing both of them, and chasing the rest of the Zergling pack away with his own. I have to say, I'm really impressed with his army management so far. He's managing his army really well. I can almost say at a Grandmaster level. I'm not afraid to say it. He's got a really nice decision making. Another couple of Baneling hits, and now the Mutas are revealed, and Stunter, well, his Lings are not going to survive long. Neither do the Banelings. Did lose a couple of Lings there to those Banelings, but not enough. And well, all Stunter can do right now is just make run-bys. Wait for the Lings to be harassing his expansions somewhere, and then start doing run-bys. This is his only chance of getting back, hurting the economy whenever he can, and this is exactly what he's going for, running straight into the main base. Well, okay, this is another way of coming back. You can just start sniping of queens everywhere and limit the larva that is going to be available for his opponent. He's getting a third base as well, and has Mutalisks of his own. Well, this battle is not going that well for Penguin, despite him having the Mutalisk advantage, and that is good news for Stunter. Let's see if he managed to equalize the drone count. Yes, he did, and the economy is still looking pretty good for him. Now, the only problem he has so far, because he is really crawling back into this game. Don't get me wrong, he's doing a really good job. He's getting his third base, he's got a decent drone count. He's getting his own Mutalisks, but the problem for him is the upgrade timing. +1 Flyer Carapace for Penguin will be finishing just now, and his is only 50% down, and that is going to make a huge difference in every single Mutalisk fight. Of course, you can help your Mutalisks by positioning your Lings below them, below the enemy Mutalisks, that is. I mean, your own Mutalisks, so that they take off some of the bounces. But if your enemy does the same, it basically comes down as no advantage at all, because it's going to be nullified. So we have successfully transitioned from the Ling-Baneling phase of the game into the Muta versus Muta game, and now it's all going to be about awareness, positioning, numbers, and focus firing. Let's see who will be getting the better end of this engagement. It looks like Penguin is doing a better job here because he's retaining more Mutas, and this was exactly the thing I talked about just seconds before. He had the upgrade, his opponent did not, and is going to kill this third base. His own third base is also under attack, but that's been taken care of. I really like this as well. More and more Zergs should be doing this. Just leave 1 or 2 Banelings near your expansion to do exactly this. That was a beautiful maneuver, luring those Banelings into the... Speedlings just into the Banelings and blow them off very, very easily. It's going to be harassment all over the place, trying to take out the gas, even transfusing it. Did I see that correctly? Nice moves here by both players. Limiting the gas income of your opponent, of course, can bring you back into the game because, you know, you will have more gas than him, so you will be able to build more Mutalisks. Let's see what the Mutalisk count is. 19 versus 17. It's really close, but again, the upgrades heavily in favor of Penguin. And I don't know if I do not actually know if Stunter is aware of how far behind on upgrades he is. I mean, he has to suspect because he knows how late his Spire was. but I don't know if he knows for sure. He has more drones, that is for certain. Let's see how many queens does he have. 2 queens, and Penguin has 3 queens, so more larvae, and more mutalisks and more upgrades. That is not good news for Stunter. 22 versus 19, only a 3 mutalisk difference, and as the upgrades are going to be starting to even out, this game can end up dragging for quite a long time, mind you. So let us see if we'll be seeing Flyer Carapace level 2 anytime soon, or maybe a second Spire to double upgrade those mutas. Neither of these players are opting to do so. They just want to they basically just want to dump every ounce of gas they have into mutalisk production. This is very similar to PvP versus Phoenix versus Phoenix, where basically once your opponent starts producing phoenixes and you don't have blink by the time ready at a decent time, and you decide to counter with phoenixes. If both of you open it with Stargate, for example, and go for Phoenix, you pretty much never can stop making Phoenixes. If you do, you lose the air battle, and then you lose the game, and we have a huge mutalisk fight right here, 28 versus 22, but the count is dropping rapidly for Stunter, and here we go, the Zerglings positioned below to take off some of the bounces from the enemy's Wormglaives, and you can see how big of a difference that makes, because the upgrades were entirely even. Would you have believed that? And that's just going to be it. Stunter defeated. He lost the air battle and therefore has lost the game. I have to say, my hat's off, or my hat, rather, off to Penguin. Very solid game here on his end. I'm really impressed. Okay, let us check with the chat here in the stream. Big Bro 96 says, "Can I just send you a replay?" Yes, you can. Like I said, if it's Master versus Master, and it is around 20 minutes, you can send it to BelleNOiR@cesnam.cz. The email address is down below. Please put "Cast My Game" into the title, so that I know who is it from and what's the purpose of the email, because I do get a ton of emails on that particular email address, and I just don't want to have junk all over the place. So yeah, you can, and one day or the other, I might end up casting that game. I love casting, as you might have noticed. Alrighty, let us see. We have the last game upon us. Before we go into that game, I just want to remind you guys that we will have a tournament coming up. The Followers Tournament number 8. And we will be making announcements sometimes during this week. Probably towards the end of the week. The tournament is a 16-player single elimination best of 3 bracket with best of 5 finals and a 3rd place match, which is also best of 3. And it has a prize pool of $100, 32 for first place, 16 for second, 8 for third, and $4 apiece to everybody below. That means 4th and 16th place. All you have to do is sign up when the sign-ups will open, and if you sign up fast enough, you might make it into the top 16, into the bracket. If not, you will be placed into the substitutes player pool, and in case somebody from the first 16 players does not show up on the day of the tournament, we will start drawing from the substitute pool, and you still may get in. Nevertheless, it's always very fun to cast. We have a pretty decent quality of games, mostly Masters, couple of Grandmasters in there. You can actually go to Wikipedia and search for my name, BelleNOiR, and one of the links that should pop out of the search will be BelleNOiR Followers Tournaments. So we can read upon this the past ones if you want. You can also find archives on my YouTube, which is youtube.com/BelleNOiRtv. And without further ado, let's go into the last game of today. It is going to be a TVT. I promised you this game yesterday, and it is going to be Matsor versus QXC. This is from the WCS qualifiers, and even though it is true that Matsor in the end ended up succumbing to the skill of QXC, this is a game he actually took off him. I have not seen this replay. I just checked who won the game, and then I just jumped out of the replay. I wasn't even watching, so I have no freaking clue what is going to happen. But it is 29 minutes long, and it is on Cloud Kingdom. So let's take a look. Alright, here we are on Cloud Kingdom, and in the top right we do have the Green Terran Matsor, who will try to do his best to kill QXC. Of course, team complexity, the purple Terran, his favorite color. And you can notice one thing, QXC is really fond of doing one thing. As he is watching his worker's mine, he's very fond of selecting individually one SCV, two SCVs, three SCVs, like not boxing, but just clicking on an SCV. He's really fond of doing that. And oh, wait a minute. We have a very early... Could this be for a proxy Rax? That is really unlike QXC. Oh my goodness. Is this just for a scout? I doubt it's just for a scout. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, he missed it, and it is going to be Proxy Reapers. What the hell am I seeing? Alright, Matt has to catch on to this. He just has to catch on to this. And, you know, I don't know which game in sequence this is. If this is the second game, then I would understand why QXC did this. Because Matt never walls off in TVT. He always goes with an in-base supply depot. Okay, now Matt is trying to scout out the whole base of QXC because he's like, hey, where's your barracks, man? Where the hell is your barracks? Does not see... Okay, it's not going to be Proxy Reapers. It's going to be Proxy Marauders. Oh my goodness, that's even more dangerous. This can kill Matt outright if he doesn't react properly to this. I mean, he knows that there is no racks inside of QXC's base, and he has not seen the command center. He's trying to see if maybe a Macarax was put down here. You know what a Macarax is? When you put your barracks on the low ground to hide it. It's not there either. Okay, so Matt doing the wise thing, getting Marauders of his own. Oh yeah. He's going to be behind on that by one Marauder. That's alright. QXC getting concussive shells as well. Those, by the way, have a really low research time, so it's going to be done really, really fast. As one Marine out, that is going to be... Oh, nice micro by Matsor, actually, and now he's pulling us... Oh, he got the SCV building the bunker. That means this aggression suddenly is way, way, way weaker, and if he gets his own bunker up, that's going to be very good news for Matt. And, yeah, QXC sees that he will not be able to kill... anything here, so wow, really nice reaction by Matt, and he's... Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Oh, proxy racks, okay, bro, okay, I'm gonna proxy factory your ass. Don't worry. Oh, Matt, you really want to punish him for this, don't you? You really want to be like, hey, gonna proxy me? Well, two can play at that game, and you know this is completely defended. One Marauder more will probably get out of those racks. The concussive shells were not cancelled though, and are we going to be... Oh, this is a very good choice, Widow Mines. The wall off is not complete, so they will be able to go inside the main base. QXC meanwhile is transitioning into factories, so maybe he will be going mech, because honestly, this is his first barracks, and since he's not building a second one, floating this all the way to his main base would be really, really stupid if you ask me. So probably going into mech play. Matt getting his, QXC getting his starport behind this as well. Let's see where the first Widow Mines are. Oh, here it is. Here it is. QXC does have enough for a scan though, and the SCVs are going to what? Kill the Widow Mine before it can get a kill? Are you kidding me? I didn't even know this was possible. He really must have... I mean, of course it is possible because the Widow Mines have 1.2 second of firing time, but still, it's... Oh, another Widow Mine. Oh, did not activate. Did not activate. Sharp eyes by QXC. He did see this and immediately moved out of the range. Very well done. Matt is getting an expansion behind this and a starport. Stim just now started, so he's going to be playing bio, which is, you know, that is reasonable, but a really nice reaction by Matt. Putting that Widow Mine there, that practically means that he's going to be delaying QXC's expansion, because otherwise QXC would have been able to build this on the low ground instead of building it on the high ground. And he would have been ahead. So I really have to compliment Matt on his decision making here. Now QXC of course very good with his control. Getting rid of the Widow Mine here and spotting the Widow Mine here just in time. Now this Widow Mine is covering the ramp, so anything coming down, it will have to be scanned first, or we'll have to move fast enough to pass the Widow Mine before it activates. That is only 1.2 in-game seconds, so not a whole lot. We have a drop incoming into Matt's base, and those are going to be Hellions, but they are not going to do all that much, especially not versus Marauders. And QXC realizes that, so he gets out of there, and well. Matt doing a lot of damage to that supply depot. Is QXC going to kill this Widow Mine? Probably yes. Yep. Does get it. And Matt realizes, or decides rather, that this is the prime time to move his factory out of the way and let QXC finally take his expansion. Not that he minds, you know. I mean, he's got his orbital finished, so at least he knows the timing of QXC's expansion, which is going to be exactly the same as his. And he's fine with that, because he's going with a bio build. So he is going to have many aggressive options very soon here. And QXC will need more, will need gas more than Matt will need gas. We have another drop, those Hellions coming around for a second try. But this time they're being taken care of properly. But, nevertheless, QXC did kill 12 SCVs with some very nice focus firing here with those Hellions. And even saved the medevac. That is very nice for him. Is he going to go for another round here? Most probably, yes. I'm just wondering what those... Okay, so those Vikings probably will be positioned somewhere here to guard against drops. I was afraid for a moment that they would go attacking together with those medevacs and Hellions. That would be that would be kind of peculiar. So let us see. QXC indeed going mech. He is not getting blue flame though, even though he is getting Hellions still by the pair. But moving into tank production very quickly, and that is a good move, you know, because your only saving grace versus bio is getting tanks relatively quickly and massing them as much as you can. That is why we are seeing 2 factories with tech labs instead of just 1. This is not a TVZ, guys, and Matt deciding that he needs to return the favor. Those 12 killed SCVs, their ghosts are haunting Matt and they want revenge. Will those Vikings pick up on them? Yes, nice reaction time by Matt, actually. Only taking one shot for him to realize that those medevacs are under fire and immediately boosting out of there. But he will be, of course, looking to somehow get them into QXE's base. I have no doubt in my mind about that. And, you know, they're not going to be as effective. Although, I have to say, there are tanks around. And look where the siege line is drawn. This is something you may want to copy if you're a Terran player. Because if you siege the tank in a TVT too close to your mineral line and someone unloads a drop here, you're going to be firing at your own SCVs, and you certainly don't want that. So we see Matsor pushing forward with his infantry. He has 1-1 on the upgrades, and QXE's got, well, he needs to siege up those tanks pronto here. Okay, there we go. Pretty defensible position, and Matt will have to go around. So, you know, with mech, I just want to say I am not surprised that we see a mech build on this map, because this map is very good for meching, both in TVT and TVZ, just because of the layout. The third is very defensible. You can put tanks here and defend this area. You can defend this area with tanks, and of course this ramp here. You know, if you put tanks here, you can defend the whole ramp. It's just because of what this map allows you to do as far as positioning goes. It's very good for mech. And I have to say that Goody loves this map as well. Okay, Matt tries to go in yet again. Still a pretty decent number of Hellions. He needs to get rid of those, but has to be careful not to cross the siege line. He does not have that many units with him here, and he is taking a third base. He cannot allow a meching Terran to get ahead in econ. If you're playing Bio, you don't want meching Terran to get ahead in gas counts, to get ahead in expansions compared to you, because if you do, then that means you're doing something wrong. Oh my goodness. No boosters activated on this one. Or, you know, not fast enough boosters, but he is in the middle line regardless how many workers is he killing. Oh my god, huge numbers of SCVs going down, 25. Before QXC manages to clean this up with the help of those Hellions. This tank helping out quite a bit, but that drop was so worth it for Matt. Let's look at the worker counts. 55 for Matt, 43 versus QXC. Both of them have 3 command centers. Both of them can produce SCVs 3 at a time, have 3 mules at a time. And, you know, basically what I'm saying is that Matt is in a slight advantage here. He's establishing a foothold. It may not look like it. QXC's food is higher, but as far as economy goes and as far as the upgrade goes, Matt definitely has the lead here. He only needs to, you know, start producing enough army to match QXC's army food count, which is 92 versus 62, but Matt does have the mobility as well. Of course, this is going to change a little bit with the addition of Hellbats into QXC's composition. Those Hellbats are going to be doing a number on those Marines. And, well, this is the really dangerous thing when you're playing versus a meching Terran. Your tank count is going to be way lower than your opponent's, but he's still going to be having Hellions. He's still going to be doing run-bys, and this number of Hellions can practically kill every single SCV here in this middle line. And here's where mines will be also pivotal in defense, but that mine is not placed the best. Could have been a little bit more far forward. Oh, but the Hellions do get into the range of the mine. That was a very, very good hit. And now these SCVs, well, nice splitting from Matt, at least attempting splitting, slowing down the attack of these Hellions. And, well, now I think he's got enough units here that they will clean up those Hellions all by themselves so he can focus on his main army again. But he's not doing that, and the tank count for QXC is rising and rising and rising. 14 tanks already. This is such an entrenched position. Very hard to break into. You need to be a strategical genius if you want to break that location. And as well, we see that QXC has constructed a sensor tower, so he knows exactly from which angle the attack will be coming. He knows of any drops that will be coming apart from this location, but that is covered with turrets. How is Matt going to juggle this situation? QXC shooting ahead in supplies. He still has a supply advantage, but that is mostly economy advantage, more than an army advantage. And you know, those are the SCVs he killed in the natural before. So Matt is remaking some of those SCVs. Does not want to fall back behind in the economy game. And honestly, he should leave these Marines here, just because of the Hellions. Wouldn't mind a partial wall off as well. That would also be cool to see. Oh. So QXC getting the map control with these Hellions, at least somewhat. But if we look at how much of the map Matt sees and how much of the map QXC sees, well, I don't really think QXC plays Mac all that often, I have to say. Right. So more scans going down, more sensor towers going down. And really, this is such a hard position to engage into. Did Matt catch onto that medevac? Let us see. Maybe he did see it. Let's see how fast his reaction time will be as he's trying to attack the third base. Because that drop is making his way into the natural. Oh, he's got units there. Smart move, Matt. Smart move. Okay, QXC is unsieging. His upgrades are not that terrifying though. Only 1-1 on his vehicles. Matt is on 3-3. His tank upgrades are the same. But QXC catches him unsieged. All of this is going to die very, very quickly. Most probably. Well, then again, maybe not. Matt's upgrades proving to be too much for QXC. He needed those tanks sieged up. And now he sieges up. And this is the only way, basically, how you can deal with the mech army. You have to surround it. You have to surround it, and this is exactly what Matt is trying to do. He has his fourth base up. Maybe he will try to deny QXC from taking his own fourth. And trying to pepper the map with Widow Mines a little bit. Is he going for the... Yeah, he's going for the planetary. Will he get it in time? He may even get this tank, though, while the rest of the forces of QXC is occupied, killing a very small number of units up there. It's not even pulling back. Metzor has vision of that with his medevacs. That was really uncharacteristic by QXC, losing that third without even reacting to that. This army could have been on the move, but wasn't. And now Matt has a decent position here. He just has to be careful not to get overrun. And it seems like QXC is a little bit of indecisive right now. Do I go for his fourth base? Do I go and take care of these units here? Nice bulldog maneuver by Matt, causing those tanks to do a little bit of damage to themselves. No Vikings here, meaning this is going to be super effective. Tanks killing each other. What is better to see? Meanwhile, QXC is pushing towards the fourth of Matt. Will he get it? I think he will. The SCVs will probably not be able to repair all the damage that's being caused by this outrageously high number of tanks. Hellbats staying back, waiting for their chance to move forward against the infantry. And Matzor pulling ahead in supply suddenly, having killed a sizable number of tanks here. That was a very large contingent actually. 4 tanks or 5 tanks have gone down at that location. And interestingly enough, QXC is... Okay, he just got his 2-2 for his mech, but he's not continuing 3-3. But at 2-2, this is really the point where mech is starting to be really, really dangerous for the bios here. And this is a perfect time for Matt to engage on siege tanks. He's moving part of his army forward. That's a beautiful move. Trying to snipe all of the tanks. The Hellbats are down. The tanks are disappearing. He may even lose this army, but does it matter? He just took a decisive battle here in the north. As he's pushing towards this planetary, is he going to decide to attack that? He needs to know where the rest of the QXC's army is. And he reckons he can take this on, and yes, he can. Not enough tanks are sieged up in time. Perfect pullback right on time before the tanks siege up, and still denying this 4th base, but this is the real danger. This is the base he needs to get rid of in the long run. He cannot allow that base to continue mining. Meanwhile, he is getting a secondary 4th here, and he will be getting a 5th as well. And QXC, for the time being, is pushing this back. Oh my god, this game is heating up by the second here, guys. Still no 3-3 upgrades for the mech, though. And look at the macro of both of these players. They're macroing just beautifully. Or is it that they don't have enough income to support their production? Either can be true, but we most of the time we do see things being produced in the production tab. So I have to assume they're macroing really, really nicely. And we can see that workers kill tab shows that 44 SCVs have been killed in total this game. QXC killing 46 SCVs of Mats, and Matt killing 26. Okay, so now the game is slowing down just a little tad bit, but only for a small while before these forces kill yet another base. Again, before it morphs into a planetary? No. No, they won't. The reinforcing defending army comes back just in time, but this also allows Matt to attack another location. Matt really abusing the immobility of Mac to the max. QXC meanwhile is cleaning up the harvester count at Matsor's 3rd base, and I think he might end up cleaning this up as well, and yes he does. So his 4th base is secure, but 5th base has been taken out by Matt, who has the higher income at this point. Oh my goodness! QXC is a little bit ahead, but I mean, Matt is definitely, throughout all of these engagements, he is getting the upper hand, and, well, army of QXC being out of position way too much for this to defend, and he has to GG out. That was really impressive. Basically, through a series of brilliantly executed tactical maneuvers in the late game, Matt was able to eke out a win, never engaging the mech army in its full force, always dodging the bullets, so to speak, only sending parts of his army, you know, engage here, engage there, and just shuffling things around, managing the expansion numbers quite well, getting expansion of his own behind this. Really a nice play, definitely well-deserved win. I think if Matt continues to practice as he's practicing right now, we might be looking to see a new Terran star arise, maybe in half a year or so, because he's getting really better and better with each game of his, I see. Especially the decision making. His mechanics are already really, really good. Still can be better, but he's really getting good at deciding what to do at which point in time. Not to mention that his minimap awareness is just top-notch. Okie dokie. So that was the last game of today. I don't actually know how many people have tuned in. And my voice is literally dead right now. I'm not going to lie. Let me just open Shock, because they were all out of Monster. Yeah, that raging video, man, that was QXC smashing his keyboard. But I have to say, that was one very, very well built keyboard. Because he smashed it with full force. Like, I'm not kidding. He was like, bam, on the keyboard. And the keyboard just flipped around. Excuse me. The keyboard just flipped around, and I really thought that he broke it in two, or just like, you know, made a depression in the middle of the keyboard. No. He just flipped it back and just continued playing. What the hell? That's one very sturdy keyboard. That's why you want to have a mechanical keyboard with a steel case, I mean steel frame inside. You can actually smash it against a concrete wall with full force, and you know what's going to happen? Couple of keycaps will fall out. You put them back in and you continue playing. Isn't that awesome? Oh, it's not American made, of course. It is not American made. Alright, guys, do you have any questions before I wrap today's episode up? Feel free to ask anything. I'm listening to your feedback right now. I'm listening to your complaints and criticism, suggestions. I'm all ears. Dear Bell, will there be another followers tournament? Yes, there will be. Do you think vegetarians eat animal crackers? No, I don't. Apparently Matsor thinks so. That's hilarious. Animal crackers. When is going to be the tournament? Well, not announcing it quite yet, but we will make the announcement sometimes this week. So if you want to play in a $100 prize pool tournament for 16 players, organized by Team Noir, casted by me, and optionally other co-casters with me as well. Last time we did have medals from the E set. I might end up talking Lurlian into doing this one with me, depending on who will have time, because those guys are really, like, their schedule is really full. But I might get someone interesting instead if I don't manage to get someone known, at least. I'll try not to drop from tournament in the first round. Okay, guys, this has been Cast My Game Episode 2. My name is BelleNOiR. If you want to submit replays, all you have to do is meet the requirements, which are the replay has to contain master versus master player. It has to be around 20 minutes long. And you have to send it to my email address, which you can find below. It is BelleNOiR at